What will God do when you dare to beat a narcissist? Hello and welcome, everyone. I hope you're all doing great today, and I'm really excited that you've decided to join me for this video. Today, we're going to talk about something that hits deep for a lot of people. Have you ever had a narcissist in your life? Someone who just seems to make everything about them and leaves you feeling drained, manipulated, and maybe even mistreated? Now imagine you take a stand, maybe even beat them at their own game. Outsmart them, or just simply remove yourself from their toxic influence. What happens next? What does God do when you dare to beat a narcissist? How does the universe respond when you finally say, "Enough is enough"? That's what we're going to dig into today, and I think you'll find this conversation enlightening, encouraging, and perhaps even empowering. First of all, let's acknowledge the nature of narcissism and why dealing with a narcissist feels so deeply exhausting and spiritually challenging. Narcissism is more than just a personality quirk. It's a fundamental lack of empathy, combined with an intense need for admiration and control. Narcissists seek to dominate others, often using manipulation, lies, and emotional games to get what they want. They're often incredibly charming on the surface but hide a deeply insecure and self-centered core. Being involved with a narcissist, whether in a personal relationship, at work, or even in a friendship, can make you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells. Always trying to protect yourself from their mood swings, criticisms, or attempts to diminish your worth. So, what happens when you dare to stand up to this kind of person? When you stop playing their game and choose to reclaim your own power. This is where things get interesting, not just on a psychological or emotional level, but on a spiritual level as well. You see, narcissists thrive on creating chaos and feeding off of the energy of those they manipulate. When you beat them, whether that's by exposing their lies, standing firm in your truth, or simply walking away and refusing to be controlled, you disrupt the very foundation they've built their sense of self upon. In that moment, you might wonder, how does God view this? What role does divine justice play when someone dares to confront and overcome the toxic influence of a narcissist? Let's start by understanding one fundamental principle: God is just. Throughout spiritual teachings, we are reminded that God is on the side of truth, righteousness, and justice. When you stand up to a narcissist, especially when you do so from a place of integrity, you are aligning yourself with those very same values. Narcissists, by their nature, often operate in deceit, manipulation, and selfishness. They thrive on sowing discord and breaking the spirit of others for their own gain. When you stand up to them, whether that's through confronting their behavior, removing yourself from their toxicity, or even outmaneuvering them in a situation where they thought they had control, you are participating in an act of truth and justice. The Bible, as well as many other religious texts, teaches that God has a special care for the oppressed, the downtrodden, and those who suffer under the hand of injustice. Narcissists, in many ways, represent a form of oppressor. They may not always use physical force, but their emotional and psychological manipulation can feel just as harmful. The moment you rise up and refuse to be subjugated to their ways is the moment you open yourself up to divine protection and support. Now, I want to clarify something important. When we talk about beating a narcissist, we're not talking about seeking revenge or stooping to their level. God's justice isn't about vengeance in the human sense. It's not about getting back at someone just for the sake of it. It's about restoring balance, bringing light into the darkness, and revealing truth where there has been deception. When you dare to beat a narcissist, what you are really doing is refusing to let their false narrative define you anymore. You're choosing to live in truth, and that act alone is incredibly powerful. When you make that stand, you're not alone. The universe, or God, steps in to guide, protect, and empower you. We often think that when we confront difficult people or situations, we had to do it all on our own. But the truth is, when you align yourself with integrity, when you refuse to let manipulation or lies control your life, divine forces begin to work on your behalf. Consider the story of David and Goliath. In many ways, narcissists are like modern-day Goliaths, giants of ego and self-importance, looming over everyone else, seemingly unbeatable. But David didn't fight Goliath with brute force. He fought with faith, with confidence that God was on his side because he was standing for something true and good. In the same way, when you face a narcissist, you don't need to meet them with the same tactics they use. You don't need to manipulate, deceive, or overpower them with force. Instead, you stand firm in your truth, knowing that you are supported by something much greater than yourself. And just like Goliath, the narcissist's power can crumble because it was never built on anything solid to begin with. Narcissists often live in a world of illusion. They construct elaborate false identities, making themselves out to be more important, more powerful, or more perfect than they really are. When you refuse to play along with their illusions, when you see them for who they really are and don't give them the attention or control they crave, it can be devastating for them. And this is where God's justice often comes into play. You see, by daring to beat a narcissist, by standing up to them, you're not just protecting yourself, you're allowing divine justice to start working in their life as well. God's justice isn't just about punishing wrongdoers, it's about offering everyone, including the narcissist, an opportunity to confront their own brokenness and change. In many cases, when someone beats a narcissist, it forces the narcissist to confront their own emptiness. Remember, at their core, narcissists are deeply insecure individuals who are terrified of being seen for who they really are. When their manipulations fail, when they no longer have control over you, they are forced to face the very thing they've been running from, themselves. This can be an incredibly painful process for a narcissist because it exposes the deep wounds and insecurities they've been trying to hide. And in this moment, God's justice is about revealing truth, about bringing what's hidden into the light. Not just for you but for the narcissist as well. Now, does that mean every narcissist will suddenly have a change of heart and become a better person? Unfortunately, no. Narcissists often resist change because they are so deeply entrenched in their ways. But God's justice isn't about forcing people to change, it's about giving them the opportunity to do so. Whether or not they take that opportunity is up to them. What matters is that by standing up to the narcissist, by refusing to allow their toxic behavior to control your life, you've opened the door for truth to enter the situation. Another thing to consider is that beating a narcissist often leads to consequences for them that they didn't anticipate. Narcissists are often incredibly self-centered, so they rarely think about the long-term effects of their behavior. When you stand up to them, expose their lies, or simply walk away from their manipulation, it can have ripple effects in their life. They may lose relationships, face consequences at work, or even suffer from the emotional turmoil of not being able to control others anymore. In many ways, this is part of God's justice as well. Narcissists often harm others without thinking about the damage they're doing, but eventually, those actions catch up with them. By daring to beat a narcissist, you're not only protecting yourself, but you're also allowing them to experience the natural consequences of their behavior. And this brings me to another important point, your healing. When you beat a narcissist, when you stand firm in your truth and refuse to be controlled, you begin to heal. Narcissistic abuse can leave deep scars, both emotionally and spiritually. But the moment you take back your power, the moment you choose to live in alignment with truth and justice, is the moment your healing begins. And in this healing, you'll find that God's presence is there with you, guiding you, helping you to rebuild your sense of self, your boundaries, and your emotional strength. Ultimately, what God does when you dare to beat a narcissist is empower you. He gives you the strength to stand up for yourself, the wisdom to see through manipulation, and the courage to walk away when needed. And for the narcissist, God gives them the opportunity to change, to face the truth about themselves, and to confront the consequences of their actions. Whether they take that opportunity is up to them, but by standing up for yourself, you've done your part in allowing justice to unfold. In closing, I want to thank each of you for joining me today and for sticking with me through this conversation. It's not easy dealing with a narcissist, but remember that you are not alone. When you stand up to a narcissist, you are aligning yourself with truth and justice, and in doing so, you invite God's presence and protection into your life. I hope you found this discussion helpful, and if you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.